Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in to today's second video. I'm going to have a look at the ECMWF extended model for today's second video. So I'm going to look at the mean soil pressure, 500 millibar height, temperature and precipitation anomalies for the next 6 weeks. And can you believe it, this is going to get us to Christmas. So for the very first time, you're going to see what the EC extended is forecasting, for the period going into Christmas. How exciting is that, everyone? So I shall get on with that for you very shortly. Just to say that the first video release day was our 7 AM upload. We've got GMA Friday coming up for you shortly, and a 10 to 14 day as well. Please like, share, subscribe on all of the videos. Thank you so much, everybody, for doing that. Thank you so much to ECMWF.int as well for supplying the charts. That's absolutely amazing. Thank you so much to ECMWF.int for supplying the charts. And we're going to be focusing primarily on the UK and Ireland for this, where we do the wider European outlook for the next 30 to 42 days. On a Tuesday. Right, okay, let's turn off webcam then. I'm going to begin with the week 1 mean sea level pressure anomaly, taking us from the 15th to 22nd of November. So there we see it. The coming week is going to be, or next week really, is going to be unsettled with low pressure to the north of the UK and Ireland, high pressure to the south-southwest UK and Ireland, winds flat and from a westerly direction, also Atlantic driven. That's about all you can say about that. The week 1 500 millibar height anomaly also looks very Atlantic driven, with above average heights, high pressure over and to the south and southwest country, below average heights, low pressure to the north and northwest, and again winds in from a westerly direction, very flat westerly Atlantic driven. And zonal, the temperature anomaly with the ECMWF extended for week 1, 15th, 22nd of November, is coming out milder than average for the UK and Ireland. It's a mild westerly Atlantic driven week. But despite the fact that it's Atlantic driven, it is rather dry than average, actually, especially so for southern and east areas. A little bit wetter than average to the north and west, but it's very, very sort of zonal type signal to start us off. Right, let's go through the week 2 then. This will be the 22nd, 29th of November. So with this one, we get high pressure centred over and just to the west of the country. Again, some low pressure in here. Still also though it will be rather Atlantic driven, really, and probably quite mild, actually. This is a bit of a shift, I think, of what the ECM was showing on Tuesday, when it was suggesting like quite a cold end to November. I think it's backed away from that idea, and now it looks as though it should probably be relatively mild, I think, with winds in from off the Atlantic. The 500 millibar height anomaly looks like that. So still with those above average heights over to the west of the country, but below average heights up to the north, winds in from off the Atlantic. And we look like more or less still on the mild side of the jet stream. Temperature will just cool down a little bit, so not quite as above average. We see above average temperatures to our west and also to our east. To our south is actually a bit colder now, so it may be starting to cool down a little bit there. But I think it's still pretty Atlantic driven, though, to be honest. And the precipitation still looks very much like it did before. So a bit wetter than average to the north, drier than average to the south. Right, week 3 will take us from the 29th of November to the 6th of December into next month. That's how we're looking. So, high pressure on the move. This time, the high pressure is sitting over and to the east of the country. Probably some lower pressure coming through here. I reckon this is still going to be pretty mild. We'll still be bringing in the wind from like a southerly direction, I would have thought. The 500 millibar height on just really shows high pressure reaching through the country. Now that would suggest probably like a colder scenario from frost and fog, as that high pressure reaches from the Atlantic into northern and western Europe. I reckon because it's quite centrally located over UK and Ireland, you'll probably expect that to be a little bit on the cold side from frost and fog. Not from snow, not bringing in any Arctic or Siberian sort of there, but perhaps some frost and fog could be possible there. The temperature anomaly as we go into week 3, early December, is around to slightly above average. The ECM extended definitely backed off that cold end to November, beginning of December that we saw when we did the update on Tuesday for European Outlook. It's backed away from that big time, I think. So this is quite a shift again, back to something a little bit milder. Week 3, week 3 precipitation, again, looks pretty dry, as you expect with high pressure in control. Week 4 will be the 6th to the 13th of December. How does this one look? High pressure still knocking around. So it could be a very dry sort of 4 weeks to come with lots of high pressure around. This time high pressure is over slightly to the west of the country. Again, probably back into like more of an Atlantic type flow. It certainly doesn't look all that exciting though. This does it? Not, you know, not much happening with all of this high pressure going on. So the 500 millibar height only again shows the above average height kind of over to west of the country. We might be bringing in some sort of trough of low pressure into northern Europe though, so it might be getting colder in the north of Europe. But I think for us, probably still anticyclone and probably relatively mild. Really, the temperature on it shows no particular signal, although it does look a little bit milder just to our west. And the precipitation anomaly, it's a weaker signal, you know, quite a weak signal, but it still looks relatively dry, as you'd expect, with high pressure dominating. Right, let's go back to mean sea level pressure. We'll have a look at week 5. This is the 13th to the 20th of December. What's happening now? So, we get hints, anyway, of a bit of a mid-Atlantic ridge. That might be a rather colder scenario. There's also a ridge over towards Greece. Otherwise, I'll put in some question marks because it's not clear what's going on across northern Europe. But with high pressure sort of in the middle of the Atlantic, we might start to generate a little bit of a mid-Atlantic ridge. Let's have a look at the 500 millibar height anomaly, see how that one's looking. So again, we see that the high pressure is pulling further out into the Atlantic as we go into week 5. We're a long way out now, of course, so really unreliable. But the high pressure is pulling away from us into the Atlantic. So we might sort of get a trough of low and a dip in the jet stream at this point. So this might start to turn a bit more unsettled and a little bit colder, maybe, as well. But temperature anomaly has no particular signal. But you can see, with time, week by week, those warm and average temperatures are sort of fading out into the Atlantic and sort of hinting anyway, but it might be going colder as we get into the middle of December. Precipitation-wise, we look like that, so relatively dry just out to our west, and no particular signal for the UK and for Ireland. Right, let's go to Christmas then. So this is how the ECMWF extended model is forecasting Christmas with its opening salvo. This takes us from the week from the 20th of December to the 27th. So into like Christmas Day, Boxing Day, all included in this. 1, 2, 3, that's how it looks. So, nothing to work with. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. After that build up, what do we make of that? We'll just put in some question marks because, you know, what is happening there? What is happening there? I wonder. Let's see if the 500 millibar height anomaly sheds any light. So that looks a little bit anticyclonic, actually. So that's like going for an area of above average heights, nicely in over top of UK and Ireland. It is also going for some northern blocking, actually, which is the first sort of real blocking we've seen within this update. So it is going for like high pressure to be northwestern Russia and towards Svalbard. That sort of area. Sorry, everybody. So maybe that might be starting to suggest something a bit colder running up towards Christmas or over Christmas. The temperature anomaly has no particular sin. It's actually a little bit milder than average just to our west. A precipitation anomaly. Again, there's nothing really there to work with. So, rather mysterious at Christmas, because I'm sure that is the point where so many of you, you know, are interested in what's going to happen. And I did build it up a little bit. I hadn't looked at the charts before, and now I wish I hadn't built it up quite so much, actually, because, you know, Christmas, bit of a mystery. Before that, though, back to, like, the more sensible time frame, which is the rest of November. So, on Tuesday, the ECM extended was, like, going for quite a cold end to November, or second half of November, and particularly sort of end of November period. Back to wave map big time. So, rest of November looking relatively mild now on this update, albeit anticyclonic. Those milder conditions last, and anticyclonic conditions last into the beginning of December. But very gradually, the temperature fades out as high pressure pulls away into the Atlantic. We probably turn colder and more unsettled by sort of second week of December to mid-month, I would have thought. And then what happens after that, you know, very, very sketchy. So that will have to wait for future updates. Interesting though, isn't it? Right, okay, so that's it for the EC Extended for this week. We'll do it all over again next Friday. Remember, it's just a snapshot of what Molly's showing. Any forecast beyond 5-7 days comes with health warnings and, large pinches of salt attached. So it could look completely different when we look at this again with the EC Extended on for European Outlook on Tuesday. Or again next Friday. We'll just wait and see. Right, so that's it for that one then. We're going to be back later on January, Friday, about how you 10 to 14 day as well. So keep checking back to the channel for all of the updates. But for the ECMWF Extended forecast, that's all for now. And thanks for watching.